The Pan-Africanist Congress has condemned the latest act of vandalism at the gravesite of its founding president, Robert Sobukwe, in Robert Sobukwe Town in the Eastern Cape. The site, which was previously desecrated in March this year, has once again been vandalized in a separate incident reported this month. The PAC and local leaders have described the repeated attacks as politically motivated and are calling for those responsible to be brought to justice. For more on that story, we are joined now by the PAC's Secretary General, Pooe. Good evening to you and thank you for your time. This is becoming really disturbing. From sources and reporting, this is at least the 6th instance of the attempted desecration or desecration of the tomb of the gravesite of Robert Sobukwe. What's happening there?
We, as PAC, are obviously disheartened by this latest move. As you correctly pointed out, Thulasizwe, it has happened several times. But what is interesting about this time around is that it even went further because there was an attempt to actually dig the grave. We suspect that whoever was doing it wanted to go further and dig out the remains of our founding president, Robert Sobukwe. And he's not only laying there alone, his wife is also buried there. His kids are also buried there. So this is actually undermining all the things that Sobukwe has stood for. Sobukwe has stood for a country that will only have one race instead of one or of multiple race, which is apartheid multiplied. And Sobukwe stood for that. And he was very clear that in a new country that will be coming after the liberation movement, the size of your nose will count as much as your color of the skin. So we are surprised that people who are now doing this, more particularly, because it is happening immediately after the renaming. 3 weeks ago or so, there was a court application that was made by AfriForum and its fellow travelers. And now, immediately after that court application, we see it's happening because the court application was intended to reverse the renaming of Robert Sobukwe Town.
So do you believe the incidents to be linked to that contentious issue? Because, you know, there's been a vociferous campaign against the renaming, as well as those who spiritedly support the renaming of former Graf Reinet to Robert Sobukwe Town. So do you believe that the incidents are linked to that?
Definitely. This is not an isolated incident, more particularly because this time around, it has even went further because there was this attempt to dig the grave. Previous occasions would have people just vandalizing the surroundings. But now, after the renaming and after the case was filed in court against this renaming, we then see this happening. So we believe definitely that there's a link. But as the PAC, we have opened a criminal case and we hope that it will be a swift investigation by the police and those responsible will be brought to book.
Just on that aspect of opening a police case, does that help in any way? Because I remember you did exactly the same in March, and I remember reading a few weeks after that incident that there were still no suspects in custody.
Definitely. That's why the PAC president tomorrow will be in Robert Sobukwe Town. We'll start at the gravesite at 12 o'clock and immediately afterward go to the police station and seek answers as to why are these cases not being followed through when there are people who want to come forward and provide more information. And this information we have provided to the police, but there seems to be no movement. That's why this intervention by the PAC president, who will physically go there tomorrow and also meet with communities just to establish exactly what is happening. And the communities are even in Graf Reinet. They have also requested that the PAC must now take a serious stand and deal with this matter. It can no longer continue as it is happening.
An aspect that I find curious, Mr. Pooe, is just how difficult it can be to protect one gravesite. This is not to suggest that, you know, because it's Robert Sobukwe, therefore there should be extra, I don't know, security and have, 24-hour security. But it seems to me that there are certain interventions, especially with your party now in the government of national unity, there are certain interventions that could be taken that say this is a site of historical importance and it's in no one's interest that it be desecrated in this way, and therefore what measures that can be effective will be put into place. Am I unreasonable to even think like that?
No, in fact, you are correct. In fact, that site has been declared a national heritage site, same as the Sharpeville grave site had been also declared a national heritage site, and to an extent that United Nations also declared it as an international heritage site. But despite all of this, we don't see government action in terms of making sure that these areas are protected as it is required by law, since they are national heritage site. That place, it's unimaginable what are the things that have been at the place where Robert Sobukwe and his family are buried. And indeed, the PAC is taking it up with the National Heritage institution of the government, and also we are also taking it up with the Section 20. Is it the Constitutional forum where it deals with religious
Yeah.
rights and cultural rights? Yeah, the one that we've already spoken to them, and we are hoping that they will take
Right.
this matter serious and deal with it. We are also engaging the Minister of Sports, Mr. Mackenzie, on this matter.
All right, let's leave it there for this evening. Thank you for your time. That's the Secretary General of the Pan-Africanist Congress, Pooe, talking to us there about the latest incident of the desecration of the gravesite of the late founding president of the PAC, Mangaliso Robert Sobukwe, in Robert Sobukwe Town.